Hello, everybody, and welcome to another The Wix Guys live stream where we'll be picking apart some websites, talking all things Wix, and answering any questions that you might have about the platform or potentially about your own websites you might be looking to get some help with. Got a couple of topics that we're going to be covering today ourselves. Joe will be joining me shortly. He's just wrestling the kids to bed. As soon as that's done, we'll be good to go, and we'll look forward to diving into some of the topics that you might want to ask. This is a Q&A forum, so if you wanted to ask a question, you can please do so on any of the chat forums that you're watching this on. We're now live on quite a few different places: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and working on TikTok as well. So we'll be on a few different places that you can see us. If you have any questions you want to ask, please do drop in. Joe is with us now, so he'll be joining in and getting started. But thanks very much for joining us again. And yeah, I'll just explain you were wrestling some kids.
Yeah, the joys of trying to do this while being a parent.
Yes, yeah, it makes it a little bit tougher, doesn't it? I've got a couple of topics to talk about today, Joe. I don't know if you have anything you wanted to talk about.
Just how amazing we are at making Wix websites,
talk
but
about
we
that
can
later
get to that later.
So one of the things that I saw, I was having a little scroll through TikTok as I do most days, and somebody put a thing together, and it was them explaining easy ways to tell that someone has made a Wix website themselves, as opposed to going to someone professional to get it done. I thought that's a really great topic because actually you can give away some facts here that potentially can just take your website from looking very DIY to looking like it's done by a professional. It doesn't really take too much. Obviously, design is a large part of that. There's actually some really quick, easy tips that I can just look at a website and instantaneously tell that that has definitely been made by someone themselves. So my first one is a lack of a favicon. It's a classic one because it's not in the Wix editor itself. You have to go into the back end of the system to change that. Not having a favicon is a really easy way for someone to tell whether or not you have or have not done your homework in the back end. If you know what a favicon is, it's that little tiny icon that comes up next to your meta title when you look at something. If you know what a meta title is, it's the bit in the tab when you're looking at anything on a Google Chrome or a Microsoft Edge tab at the top. It's that little tiny logo normally that's at the side of that. So having a favicon in there, generally a square logo or circle logo is the way forward on that. You can pop them in there and you can go from, nice, easy way of getting your favicon in there. My other one that is often forgotten about and missed is the powered by Wix bit. So at the bottom, generally, most templates that you get that come from a Wix website come with the powered by Wix little bit of text written at the bottom. If it says that on there, for me, it's an instantaneous way of knowing that you, for one, haven't changed the template enough, because it means that you've, which is another one of my points, haven't changed the template enough. But also, two, it's just you just said that it's been powered by Wix, so I know that you haven't changed it. So it's a really nice way of just taking that out. Doesn't take too long, just literally a click and delete. Not too strenuous. Leading on from that is using a Wix template and then not changing anything in it and just putting your logo on the front and not even changing colors. I've seen people do it before. It's a really obvious way for someone who builds websites a lot to understand that that's the case, but also it's a really easy way to have your website look exactly the same as loads of other people on the internet, which is not what you want to be doing. The other one, which is is almost a sin, it's more than a design, a sin, is not paying for premium and having the bar at the top that says this is a free site by Wix.com. You are literally, and it's not free at that point because you are advertising their business and potentially taking some business away from yourself, because that main banner at the top is one of the first things you see when you log into someone's website. So having that at the top is just it's cost £12.60 or whatever it is to sign up to Wix Premium. It's absolutely worth every penny in doing so, and it takes that stupid little banner away from the top. Definitely something to move away. One that's a little bit more niche, but I often see people trip up on, is that in a lot of the templates and even in the pre-made sections that you get in the contact form, there's always a bunch of social icons that you can use in the system. So if you put social icons in there, it automatically default puts the Wix social media channels in as the things on there. A lot of people don't realize they need to change them to their own channels. So by double clicking on them, opening up the channels and changing the URL that it goes to your own URLs. So a lot of websites that I go on, and it has a whole bunch of different bits at the top, and all of them are leading to the Wix websites. You're just missing opportunities for people to come and see your wonderful social media. So yeah, really easy one to get wrong. More Joe's point, but it's definitely important, is metadata. So that's the Google stuff. So if you haven't been through Google's basic SEO guidelines of things it should get you to do, that's a really easy step to help you, one, get ranked straight off the bat, but also two, to make sure your site looks professional. So just go through their SEO checklist if you haven't done so already. And if you get stuck with some of it because it's a little bit technical, that's where you can reach out, especially talk to Joe. That's his forte. And my last thing is mobile site optimization. So a lot of people build their Wix site and go, great, yeah, nice, done it, finished it, all ready to go. And then they realize actually that when they look at it on a mobile phone, it's not right at all. And 58% of UK traffic is now from a mobile, which means that you are potentially missing out on over half of your customers coming to your website and seeing it not at its best. So if you mobile optimize your site, and all you do to do that is at the top left of the editor, there's a little laptop and a little mobile. Click the mobile, make some changes in there. What I often find sometimes is some of the stuff won't relate directly over it. You might have to build new little sections in your mobile. It's absolutely worth every second of that time that it takes to do it. Building your mobile site out, as I said, 58% of your customers will be going there. So yeah, definitely check those bits out. But they're my quick tips on how not to look like your website has been DIY'd. It can quite easily set you apart from your competitors if you get that stuff right. So definitely worth looking into.
Yeah, and we're obviously talking about the Wix system because we are the Wix guys, but that also goes for Squarespace, especially the favicon thing. I'm not even confident that I have seen one Squarespace website with a favicon on it when they've come to us, because that they really hidden it in Squarespace. So stuff like forms where you're doing it yourself and you're not really a designer, you don't really know what you're doing. There's plenty of checklists online of stuff that you need to do, and I think even actually in Wix itself there's some checklists to make sure that you're ready to launch your website. So make sure you do them all if you are making it yourself, or pay us to do it for you.
We'd love to do it for you properly.
Yeah, so for $749 we can build a brand new website for you. So if that is of interest, I need to stand up straight a bit for this, but then click the link or scan the QR code.
Yeah, cool. I'm just trying to think. I think Squarespace automatically puts their logo as the top as well. I don't think Wix does. I think it just has a no favicon. So that's why it's so glaringly obvious if you see a Squarespace one, because it does actually put their logo at the top, and so you know that it's built in the platform, whereas a Wix just doesn't put a favicon, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's also not a good one. You're missing a branding opportunity, so take it. All the branding opportunities you can take, you should take. Very important.
Yeah, definitely. And it just makes you not look as professional. Carl has a gripe about people that use like @Gmail or @Hotmail, and it's a similar thing where if someone's using @Gmail or @Hotmail, you just don't look like a real company. You don't look like a proper professional company that could be trusted, because you can't be bothered to pay £5 a month to get a legit email address. So
yeah,
little things like that is what's going to set you apart, especially when you're in industries where that's common, such as like the trades, where it's quite common for people to have their @Gmail or @Hotmail. Just having a professional email address, professional phone number, professional van, professional uniform, all these little bits make it that you are definitely going to stand out from other people and not look like a cowboy who's going to come and do a terrible job and then leave.
I think I see a lot of people that want to get the big jobs, want to move into the new stuff, want to go into commercial work or bigger contracts, and they don't have an email address that has their domain at the end. And I just think it's such a simple way of making yourself look like you're a solopreneur, a one-man band, and actually the ability to just pay the £5 a month for a Google one. Or there's loads of other ones that are cheaper as well, but we always use the Google stuff. But I think it's just such a simple investment that can make a huge difference when it comes to how people look at you and view your website and your company. I think a lot of people, if you are a small family-run business, then that potentially might work for you. But I see so many sign-written vans, and people have probably spent hundreds or thousands of pounds on getting a van sign written, and they've put a @gmail.com thing. I'm like, well, where's your scalability? If you scale up and you get one of those, you're gonna have to get the van rewritten. Like, just do that early, and then you won't have to worry about that sort of thing. It's a really simple thing to do.
Yeah, I saw one recently where it was a gmail.com, but they obviously positioned it where the .com wouldn't fit, so they just put .com underneath. So it said
Put them in one line.
like, yeah, ABC Plumbing at Gmail, and then on newline.com, and I was like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
get your money back for that job.
Yeah, that should be someone should be helping you with that at that point, definitely. I've got a question to put to you, Joe. Actually,
oh god,
I'm not giving you any warning of this as well, so I'm going to be on the spot. But we've talked about it a little bit before. But one of the things that we see as like a common problem for a lot of people is the ability or wanting to put logos of their clients they currently work with. There's a little bit of fear often around people not wanting to do it because they don't want people to come and steal their clients. And I think this is worth mentioning as well. Case studies. People don't like sharing case studies of work they've done because they're worried about people stealing their work. And I've worked with businesses that turn over 20 grand a year and businesses that turn over in the millions a year, and they both have the same question. So what is your opinion on people displaying? So I think a couple of pros and cons, and I'll jump in with some as well, of why you should display your clients on your website.
Yeah, well, I guess before I say that, something to just make sure that you are doing is getting permission first. So whenever we sell a website or we sell marketing services, in our terms and conditions that they read and sign, it says you are happy for us to talk about you on our social media, to put you on our website, etc., etc. So that's like the first thing that you've got to do. But I think that if you're worried about someone else stealing your client, you're probably not doing a good enough job, which is a bit of a harsh truth. But if you think about it,
I'm glad you said it. I was going to say it.
If you've already got your foot in the door with that person and you're working with them, and if we're talking in the trades with commercial clients, if you've got your foot in the door and they're willing to jump ship and go with someone else, something's gone wrong, because most people don't want to have to change their supplier, change their local restaurant, or whatever industry it is we're talking about. People don't want to have to change. So if they do change, then something's probably gone wrong. Either the service or product you've delivered isn't what they were expecting, or maybe the price, like someone else is underpricing you, and then maybe you need to reevaluate your pricing. But I think if you're worried about
jump in there
there's
as
a
well.
wider problem.
I think that's also worth saying that sometimes actually at that point as well, it's the client is wrong. Like if they're so sometimes your price point is right and everything you're doing is correct, but they are at that point they're going, oh no, it's fine, I found someone cheaper. Like if that is the case and they found it on your website and they found they've gone to someone cheaper because of that reason, then do you want them? Like, it's a big thing that as you're growing, you realize that actually that sort of stuff is what's actually holding you back. Is fighting on price for some of these clients is potentially the thing that's actually stopping you from moving forward. So I don't think you're not always wrong with your pricing. I think it's just that I think what Joe's sort of alluding to there is that if they're quibbling on price, then you didn't want them anyway, and it's probably an opportunity for you to move on to find a new one that you can put on your website. So don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, and I think pricing is one of the hardest things in business as well. Yeah. But if you just think about it from a pure monetary value per hour point of view, if someone's willing to go lower price, as long as your pricing is correct, they're going to be delivering a worse service. So like we do websites for £750 and we do websites up to £5,000 plus, but we're putting a lot more hours and a lot more time into that 5,000 plus one compared to the 751, and that's exactly what you would expect. So if we quoted 5,000 for a website and then someone else quoted 750 for that same website, you're going to get less quality, or we've completely priced wrong and something's gone wrong there. So price is always a bit of a hard one, and I think especially, once again, I keep coming back to trades, but I know it's a big thing in like plumbing and stuff where most companies are racing themselves to the bottom, really trying to undercut the nearest competitor. But
I think one of the ones I see on is cleaners. Cleaners are like, you see it on Facebook, someone pops up a thing saying I'm looking for a cleaner, and everybody's like, I charge 25 15, 17, 15, 13. It's like, wait, guys, this is not eBay. We're not like bidding warring to the bottom. Like you have a price and you need to set yourself at that price. We're talking about price now as opposed to this thing, but it is an important part of it.
Yeah, I think there are obvious. Okay, let's bring the ship back in on course.
Yeah.
I think there are reasons to not put them on the website as well. There are obvious industries where you don't want that, i.e., like lawyers. You don't really want to be talking about your clients as a lawyer, unless I guess you could say we help Disney or stuff like that, but not individuals. You don't want to be like, I helped OJ Simpson.
Jesus, that's not getting clipped, is it? Jeez.
No. So there's some obvious industries where you don't want to be talking about your client relationships, but I think they're few and far between. Most industries should be talking about clients or customers, at least. Obviously, a restaurant doesn't really need to shout about clients, but they need to be showing the reviews from their customers. And if they do happen to get any like celebrities in, they need to be shouting about that. But yeah, bringing it back to the first point, you need to always get permission first. You just don't want people getting arsy with you after you've shouted about them on social media and then they're not happy with it.
I think another thing that you can sort of relate to that is a little bit about SEO, especially with case studies, ability to talk about keywords that you've worked on, things that you've solved for people. They're all things that would be useful from a keyword search point of view, as well as also a link potentially to especially if you're niched into an area, or you only do, say, for instance, take the cleaner as you only clean offices or you only clean dental practices. If you're linking through to a dental practices, it will start to relate that you talk about that sort of content, and you'll get shown into more of those sort of people. So that does help too.
Yeah. What are your points then, or if we said them all, Carl?
Yeah, I think you sort of alluded, you got pretty much everything I was going to say there. The pros for me are always if someone is looking at your site and they don't know where your price point is, they can probably pick it off the clients that you deal with currently. So if you're a let's try and do something that's not a plumber for once. If you're a chef, let's do a chef. I like a chef. If you're a private chef and you do all the stuff for the Chelsea Football Club, I feel like you're probably gonna. If it's just me looking for a caterer to come and do my 21st birthday, it's not a 21st birthday. If someone's coming to do my 21st birthday, I wish I'd probably look at that and go, oh crap. Actually, they're doing some work for Caicedo this weekend. Probably can't afford them, so I'll go somewhere different. But if I go and talk to somebody and they say, "Oh yeah, we do, church fetes, we do bar mitzvahs, we do birthdays, all in the Maidstone area where we're based," that's probably more likely to be the sort of person that I can actually afford and work with. So it's a way for one of qualifying your customers, because if you do only work with these big spenders, then actually saying that you do that straight off the get-go is going to put off people that can't afford your services. So you're not going to waste time on the phone to them, which is a big thing in business. Actually, if you are busy and you're on the tools or whatever you're doing, even if you're just busy running the business, the last thing you want to be doing is wasting time talking to people that can't afford the services that you've got. I'm not saying that you want to completely dismiss them sort of people, because actually having them in a funnel so that when they potentially can in the future, they come to you, that's great. But for pushing them towards your social media is a much better way of doing that. And actually having the people that want to come through on the forms on your website, that's a nice way of qualifying people in a way that isn't too aggressive. I think it just shows off quite easily, but they have to be relatable people. If nobody understands that who those players are or what they do or in their niche or whatever it might look like, then that's not going to work either. So having, like, we work with lots of small businesses, and if we put in a bunch of the small businesses that we've worked with, if they're in Maidstone, they might be known, but beyond that, they probably aren't. So the likeliness of someone seeing that and going, oh, it doesn't really make sense. But if they go, oh, they've actually just worked with a little street food brand, and then they also are looking to start a little street food brand, then perfect. They see that we do what they need, and then they might come through and have a conversation with us. So yeah, one of the pros for me is definitely that. In terms of the cons as well, I think it can be done sloppily. Like I've seen people do it. They just plaster all of their stuff on the front of the website, and actually having one of them nice sort of ticker bars that move through with all the different logos, and trying to see whether you can keep them on brand, grayed out, blacked out, so they all look like they're on brand to your website, as opposed to them being a mishmash of colors and it affecting the brand of your site. That's also a nice way of doing it as well. So there's lots of pros and cons to that.
Another con is what you were just saying about the setting the price as well, because like if we were a marketing agency and we were trying to get with bigger clients, we were trying to get to work with Disney and with Coca-Cola and people like that, and then our website was just like, oh, Barry the fish and chip owner or Sarah the nail technician, they wouldn't trust us with their marketing. Whereas if they went on and we'd worked with, you know, FIFA and other big people, I can't think of anyone else big, it's just because you're talking about football, but other big people, then they would know to trust you. So it can be a con as well if you do it the wrong way.
Yeah. So I think thinking this is like marketing strategy is a thing that we don't really talk about much on this, because it's quite a big topic. But actually sitting down and working out who your customer avatars are, if you don't know what that is, I suggest you Google it and work it out. That will help you with working out who you should be aiming your website towards. Because one of the things I see a lot of people do by mistake is build a website for them instead of building a website for their customer. Big problem, because you aren't necessarily a customer. So yeah, definitely having some thought about who your customer is, what they do, what they like, and then making decisions around that is a really important part.
Yeah, that reminds me as well of something that I see often, and we have to correct people in that the copy on their website is all just me, I, whereas really you want to flip that and be talking from the viewer's perspective. So rather than it being like, I've been a plumber for 40 years, I've done this, I've done that, I'm great, I'm the best, it should be like, you can trust me because I've done it for 25 years. You know I'm going to do a good job because. So flip it and be talking about the customer first, and then following up with the I. But you see so many people just talk about, I'm qualified like this, and I'm this, and I've done this, and then not talking at all about how that actually translates to the person viewing your website.
Yeah, and solving their pain points. All marketing is solving pain points. So if they come onto a website and they say, we'll fix your depends on plumbers again, we'll fix your radiator in 24 hours, then that might be what they need, because their radiators fall off the wall and they've got their grandparents coming around the next day. Like, that's what they need. But if it's a case of, you know, we're industry leaders, we use only the highest quality of radiator, we're all about fashion and design, that's a completely different pain point you're fixing to what it is. So there's niches inside pain points as well, which is worth following, and that all comes from the avatars. You know, if you're a PT, it's a huge one. PT is such a vast, varied role. There's lots of different parts of being a PT, and also there's lots of different target audiences of PT. There's some that are based around recovery, some that are based around weight loss, some that are based around weight gain. So being able to solve the pain points in that industry, and also making sure that all of your content and all your imagery, all that stuff fits and aligns with what you're talking about, that's going to make things work. If you're a PT and your whole thing is about weight loss, and you've got loads and loads of muscly men on your Wix website, what you're going to find is that people are going to go on there and be like, well, I don't want to look like that. I actually just want to lose a couple of stone before I go to Ibiza this year, because everyone's going to think that I've put on too many pounds since I've getting really personal here. So yeah, I'm gonna but yeah, that's for me. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, I need to. Yeah, jeez. But yeah, for me, it's customer avatars are really important and often overlooked, especially by people that don't necessarily know what they're doing. So if you're doing it yourself, that's a really great way to start, and it helps you with your copy. If you're using something like AI to generate copy as well, you can use your customer avatar and be like, I'm aiming to hit these sort of people. Can you help me create copy that would hit this sort of person? That would be a really great way of doing it as well.
And I think everyone doing a customer avatar, sometimes you find what you care about and an easy win. I can't remember exactly which book it was in, but I remember reading in a book that there was this life coach that had like just under 100 clients, but we're still struggling to get by because he was charging like 20 quid and blah, 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 blah. And he just decided that he was going to move to LA and he was going to life coach rich people about rich people things, and then he only ended up needing 7 clients because they would obviously pay a lot more, and he found a niche in that rich people feel bad about complaining about the little things because they feel like they should be just happy that they're rich. So he was the person that they could go and complain to. So it's a really interesting niche that he found. I just imagine, like, you know, a rich person going to his thing and be like, "Oh my god, I just had to pick up my dog poo today. It was terrible what I had to do."
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't like that, but
Yeah.
he just said that they couldn't go home and complain to their wife about stuff because they didn't understand that they didn't want to complain to their staff because that would not show job security and stuff. So he just went there and became the person that they complained to, and then made a nice little niche for himself.
Yeah, that reminds me of the guy that owns the Sports Direct, when they were all complaining about losing, when they were complaining about not getting paid enough, and he went to their factory on live television and put like £20,000 in cash notes on the table to go through the scanner. And I was like, that guy probably needs to go and see him because he's made a mistake there. Yeah, that's a classic one.
Definitely.
But yeah, not ideal, not a good business move there. Yeah, well, that was my 2 points. I thought there were 2 little ones that were actually quite useful for people potentially that were watching.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you wanted to bring to the table?
No, other than we do this stream every single week at 8 p.m. GMT. And the point of this, other than us rambling about some topics that we've decided, is so that people can come along and get their Wix website fixed. So if you have any problems from design to functionality to getting it live, you can come here. Or if you just need some general tips about the design or how to make this look a bit better, you can come into this stream and get it done completely for free by us. So
in front of everybody,
in front of the world. So if you are watching this after the fact, come along next time and we can help you with your Wix website.
And if you don't want to do that in front of everybody and you want to just get in touch with us separately, you can drop us a line on any of our social medias that you're seeing us on right now. And we will happily get back to you and give you some one-to-one advice as well. You can jump on the call with us. We'll have a little look at what you've got going on and we can give you a price to fix it. That's not free, unfortunately. If you have to get it for free, you have to do it in front of everyone.
You have to be shamed by the internet.
Yeah.
We're not selling this very well. But if you do want... I can point to it. If you do want us to just do everything for you, then you can come to us and we do your Wix websites from 749 and they're very good.
Yeah, and if you want to find us on any of our socials and follow us on our socials, if you just search for the Wix guys on any of the social media channels, you'll be able to find us. We are trying to grow our following and we would really appreciate it if you could jump on and follow some stuff. That would be really, really helpful. Thank you very much.
Okay, cool. Let's end it there then, Carl. And we will be here next week.